I want to start this video by saying something I wish I heard a few months ago, and maybe you need to hear it too. If you find yourself doing everything, and I mean everything, but somehow you're still falling behind, I want to tell you, I see you, you're not alone. And this video was made with you in mind. Because if you find yourself going to bed exhausted and just to end up waking up tired, having those long to-do lists, your responsibilities with your house, your responsibility with your kids, your responsibility with your job, your responsibility with yourself as a human being, running around all day just checking things off, handling everyone else's needs. And I don't want you to feel like something is wrong with you because you feel exhausted, you feel like you're falling behind. Because a lot of us are in this cycle of always feeling exhausted, even though we're doing so much. I don't want you to feel like you're broken. I don't want you to feel like you're a failure, because you're not. You're just full of responsibilities, full of to-do lists. And it's only human to feel this way. Here's a scenario. You woke up early in the morning, probably before your alarm went off, and even before you touch the floor, your brain is already scanning all the to-do lists you're supposed to do that day. You start thinking about everything that needs to be done that day, the lunches, the dinners, what needs to be cleaned in the house, the kids' appointments, and your own job as well. Maybe yourself, you have some things that you needed to tackle to move the needle on your business, on your personal life. And all those things are going through your mind before 7 a.m. Does this sound familiar? And at the end of the day, when everybody has gone to bed, probably, you sit there with yourself and you start wondering, what have I accomplished today? And this question doesn't really make sense, does it? Because remember we said we've been doing things all day long. We had a long list of errands that we tackled. We did the laundry, we did the dinners, we did the lunches, we took kids to work, we went to work, we came back home, we did dinner, we put kids to bed, you pick up the kitchen. But here are you asking yourself, what have I accomplished today? The question sometimes can feel out of place. Why? Because all day we've been moving. All day we've been doing things. We've been busy. We've been working. But somehow, we still feel behind. Let me tell you a little story about myself. I remember one night, after doing everything I was supposed to be doing, putting my daughter to bed, clean the kitchen, and things of that nature, I was trying to sit on the couch to relax. And I found myself in that couch looking at the TV, but it was still off. For a good 5 minutes, looking at a blank TV. And I got very emotional. Not because something crazy happened to me or anything like that, but I think it was at that moment where you realize that something needs to change. Because I was so tired, so exhausted. I was so sick of feeling like I was behind my goals, behind my vision. For instance, I found myself being in a situation where I was always tired that I couldn't post my videos regularly because I didn't have enough time or even the energy to film my YouTube videos or to edit my videos or to do some research on the practical part of YouTube. And that feeling of always being exhausted, always being tired, never having enough time or energy to tackle something that meant something just for me, I became frustrated. And that frustration was what I needed to realize that I needed some changes in my life so that I can finally reconnect with my own self, with my own needs. And if you ever felt that way, I need you to know something. There is nothing wrong with you, because that feeling of being extremely exhausted, frustrated, is not a sign that you are failing. It's a sign that you've been carrying too much, and probably you have been for a long time. So don't be harsh on yourself. You are not falling behind. Here is something I've been thinking about lately. We live in a world that constantly tells us that being busy equals value, that the more we do, the more we are worth, that rest is earned, is not given. That mindset alone is far from being a positive thing in our lives. It's far from being a healthy relationship with yourself. And as women, especially as mom, we get that concept amplified times 1,000. Just think about it. On top of all the to-do lists you have to deal with, on top of all the responsibilities you have to go through or to deal with, you are also expected to keep doing more and more and more. The more you do, supposedly, the more worth it you're going to be. That mindset is always going to make you feel like you're falling behind because you're trying to compare your abilities to an illusion that doesn't exist. None of us is perfect. None of us can take as much load and expect our bodies not to crash. This is a message I would like to pass on. Whatever stage you are in life right now, you are still valuable. Embrace that and take care of yourself, because it's so easy to get caught up on other people's illusion, those highlighted reels that you watch online, those women waking up at 5 a.m. having this beautiful workout, or eating all this organic food, or having these beautiful curated homes. And somehow they still find the time to travel. They still find the time to have those Sundays beautiful self-care. And you see that and you think, what's wrong with me? But here's what you're not seeing. You don't see the help they have. That mom that probably woke up at 5 a.m. to work out, maybe she has help. That while she's doing that, someone is looking after her kids. That woman showing you her Sunday self-care routine probably cried before she pressed record on her camera, because she's human too. She's going through things. And maybe that Sunday routine is what keeps her alive. Everything you're watching that makes you feel like you're falling behind is being designed that way. So be gentle to yourself and embrace your own real life, because your life, there's nothing more real than that. And something else that I also noticed is that a lot of the things that keep us busy, it doesn't necessarily move us forward. Because sometimes we can spend hours doing errands, cleaning our house, doing all this extra stuff that, yeah, they are necessarily not a bad thing, but deep down, they are not moving the needle, if that makes sense, when it comes to our goals. We end up exhausted and we end up frustrated with ourselves, because technically the things that consume that time of ours was something that, if we were intentional about our time, maybe the outcome would have been different. And I've noticed that sometimes we keep ourselves so busy, but at the end of the day, when we have to make an audit of how we spend our time, we find out that it wasn't actually spent smart. And with that, we realize our goals didn't move, our dreams didn't move. We didn't move. We were busy, yeah, but we were not progressing, if that makes sense. And that is an important distinction, because being busy and being productive are two different things. Because being busy is reactive, is responding to whatever comes to you, is getting through the day. But being productive, on the other hand, is being intentional. You're choosing what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, and for how long you're doing it. We're being intentional with our time. We're being intentional with the things we choose to do and how we choose to do it. And most of us are on that loop of doing as much as possible. Our attention is being divided into a million tasks, because everything that comes along grabs our attention, grabs our energy. And if you're not intentional, once again, about that, I don't know what to tell you. We need to work on that. And I'm not saying this to make you feel bad. Please listen to me. I'm saying this because a lot of us are exhausted and we don't fully understand why. And I think part of the why is this: we are spending our energy on everything except on the things that matter the most to us. We are pouring back out and not for a second we stop and pour back in. And eventually, guess what happens? You'll dry up. With that said, I would like to share a few things I've been learning. And before I keep going, by the way, I just want to clarify something. I'm not talking here as someone who has figured it out, okay? Not the case. I'm talking here from a place of I'm there with you, okay? Trying to figure things out one step at a time. Because it's going to take time, especially when we've been on this cycle of doing things differently for the longest. Learning new things, new skills, new ways, new strategies will take time. And the beauty of it is that we can do it. The first thing I had to learn was how to be intentional with my time. Because, as I said earlier, not being intentional with your time, you're going to end up feeling like 24 hours is not enough. I needed to make sure I was using my 24 hours intentionally. Because looking back, I realized that I was spending a lot of time on things that didn't really matter. I spent a lot of times entertaining myself, scrolling on social media, or the time I was spending overthinking, or the time I was spending doing the things that, yeah, maybe it matters. Having a clean household, fixing dinner for my family members, those things, they matter. But if, for instance, I didn't have a plan ahead of what's going to be for dinner on Monday, guess what happens on Monday? I have to overthink what to come up with ideas, what to do, and things like that. That time was not intentional. So I was spending longer periods of time trying to fix that dinner that I could have saved if previously I had a plan like, okay, Monday night is going to be pasta and ground beef, to give you an example. Was I busy? Yes, I was, because I was doing things, but I wasn't productive. And that realization changed everything for me. So the second thing I learned was that I can't do it all. I can't do everything. Because trying to do everything, that was really the reason why I was always feeling stuck. My mindset back then was like, I must do everything at once. I used to think that pushing harder, doing more was gonna make me feel, I don't even know, like fulfilled, like I have more value, if that makes sense. And the funny thing is, I never caught up because the list was never ending. And I finally had to accept that the goal was never to finish, right? The goal was to choose what really mattered the most, at least at that moment. That was very hard for me because if you know anything about me, I'm someone that doesn't know how to stay still. I'm that person that I'm going to be watching a movie and randomly my eye catches something on the ceiling and my next goal is to go and tackle that, right? That's what I'm always saying, that that's the beauty. We keep learning. We keep changing our mindset because changing your mindset is a full-time job. Okay, so you really have to be intentional about it. The third thing I'm learning, which I think is the most important one, is that I don't have to measure my value based on how much I've done. In other words, I had to stop measuring my worth based on my productivity. Because somewhere along the way, I started believing that I'm only valuable if I'm productive. And that's just not true. If we want to be honest with ourselves, you can't measure your worth with how productive you are, because that's just a lie. Because my worth isn't tied to how clean is my house, or how many emails was I able to answer, or how much I got done today. No, not the case. I'm worthy just because I exist, and so are you. And I know it might sound simple and maybe a little cheesy, because again, I'm not saying anything special. It doesn't require you to go and spend money, or it doesn't require you to do any extra research. Simple stuff. But that's where the power lies. And I think we need to hear it more than we realize, to be honest. Because the society we live in these days is more. And sometimes, even if you want to rest, you can't even say your mind, because you don't want people to look at you as lazy, as not ambitious, as not a failure. You see what I'm going, right? So, no, we're not going to be doing that. Because when you believe that your worth is tied to an output, you will never rest. You will never stop. You will never feel like you're enough. You will never feel like you're worth it. That's like chasing something that keeps moving. It's exhausting. Imagine chasing a car that is just running. You're never gonna catch it. Same concept to me. So for me, enough is doing what really matters. If that day my goal was to do 1, 2, 3, and I accomplished that 1, 2, 3, even if it's not 100% because of X, Y, and Z, that's enough for me, and I'm happy with it. And some days, enough is doing those 3 things. Some other days, enough is doing 1 thing. And some other days, enough is not doing anything at all. For instance, yesterday was supposed to be a full day of filming. I didn't film anything. I was exhausted mentally. I wasn't feeling my best physically. And I chose to take that day and rest. Now, was it easy for me to do? No, because my mind was trying to blame me for trying to take that day off. But I did it anyway, because the goal here is to switch your mindset. And my mindset was, you know what? Tomorrow is another day. My YouTube videos, are they important for me? Yes, but it can wait, because today I need to rest. So, yeah, friend, we have to be intentional with the things that we choose to matter to us. We have to be intentional with our time, our energy, because you are worth it. So if you've been listening to me and you're like, oh my gosh, Dolly, I feel identified with what you're saying, I have something special for you. Not a fix, not a plan, but a thought. What if today you let go of the idea that you are behind? What if you stop comparing yourself with someone else's highlighted reel? What if you looked at everything you've done, everything you've carried, everything you've been through, and give yourself credit for that? Because if nobody has told you, you are doing a lot, even if it doesn't feel like it. The fact that you are here watching this video, trying to figure things out, that says something about you. You haven't given up. You're still searching. You're still believing that something can change. And I believe it too. I'm not here talking as someone who has figured it out, because that's not the case. I'm just here as someone who is still learning, making mistakes along the way, and learning from those mistakes. But I'm learning slowly, imperfectly, and I think that's enough. And I believe that to be the trick, not to have it all figured out, but being willing to learn, being willing to find things out, being willing to adapt, being willing to change our mindset. That's the beauty. One step at a time. That's all it takes. And before I go, I just wanted to say thank you for being here with me. We live in a very busy world. So the fact that you intentionally clicked on this video and you stayed with me all this time, I appreciate that. And if this video has resonated with you, please let me know in the comments. Share it with someone that might need it. If you are looking for a place to start, I actually created a free guide that walks you through the process of being intentional with your time, being intentional with the things that matters to you the most. Because it's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters the most to us. I'll have the free guide on the description box in case you want to check it out. And if you're not ready for that, that's okay too. Okay? No pressure. It's gonna be there whenever you're ready. You can always come back and get it. But just take this as your reminder today. You are doing better than you think. You are enough even if it doesn't feel that way. And you are not behind. And with that being said, I'll see you on my next one. And one step at a time always.